given this chance to preview the new Smart #1 Brabus edition version. This is basically the #1 premium edition with the Brabus bits on it, and it's also a bi-motor, a twin motor. So basically this is the fastest Smart #1 which you can buy here in Malaysia. Not on sale at this current time. It's going to be launched soon. This is an exclusive preview for the media. I've been lucky enough to be invited for this, and this is a hot hatch crossover performance car actually. So in terms of what it is, it's basically part spin Mercedes-Benz. Smart is a collaboration between Mercedes-Benz and GD. So they've come up with this model. The #1 is the first model, and this is the first model that will be sold in Malaysia. What I like about this car is basically I've driven it also at the Proton test track much earlier, and it's actually bloody fast. 0 to 100 kilometers per hour actually takes a good 3.9 seconds. It actually feels damn fast if you're alone, even with load and all. It's a twin motor, fully electric performance crossover hatchback, and it's okay. Specs are basically it's like you've got rear multi-link, front McPherson's, electric power assisted steering for the user stuff, ventilated front disc, and a solid rear disc. They are basically twin pods only. But that said, top speed of this car is 180 kilometers per hour, and even BMW uses a lot of their twin pods only for their M series models, M135s and all. So braking, I suppose, is sufficient. I've tested the brakes; it is sufficient at speed, and since we are capped at 180 due to it having a single speed gearing, it's actually good enough. So what else is there? Maximum power is 315 kilowatts. Torque is a massive 543 Newton meters here. As I said, it's all-wheel drive. You have the Eco, Comfort Sport mode, and Brabus mode in terms of how the power is delivered, how the electric motor delivers its power. So in Eco mode, this car is fully rear-wheel drive. In the other modes, it's all smart modes. Basically, they will choose like how much power and what to, how much to add to the front wheels, how much to go to the rear wheels and all. In Brabus mode, it's basically full-time all-wheel drive and aggressively tailored for sporty performance driving, which is like, technically it is. So, single drive pedal, e-pedal, battery has a range of about 400 kilometers. I think real world range would be about, if I'm not mistaken, and from experience in electric cars, if you're talking about a bit of hills and all, uphill climb and all, you're looking at about 350 kilometers in real world range. So charging capacity like 10 to 80% at 22 kilowatts is about 3 hours. Full direct charging capacity this is at DC at 22 kilowatts. Full DC charging at 150 kilowatts at 10% to 80% state of charge is about 29 minutes. So it's sufficient enough, definitely. GD seems to think that you just need about, most of the time, a splash and dash, 80% up to 80% or somewhere between there, and you're good to go. So usually it's like everything is there. Standard safety features, traction control, ABS, electronic traction control, hill hold assist, cornering brake control, traction control, basically everything that it works. Airbags, ISOFIX and all if you have kids and all. So you're talking about full ADAS suites also, adaptive cruise control, autonomous emergency brakes for city and urban, pedestrian cyclists, front collision mitigation support. If it detects you're about to crash, it will basically engage brakes to slow down your car to mitigate the accident, not to actually fully be taken over and all. So you've got lane change assist, evasive manual assist, front cross traffic alert, rear cross traffic alert, opening warning, blind spot detection. So you're talking about basically the current 2023-2024 full active safety suites for the car itself, which is like good enough. So now LED headlamps, follow me home lights, courtesy light. Wheel sizes are 235, 45, 19 on basically specially designed Brabus looking wheels, rims. So you have the sunroof, roof rails because it's a crossover, and power tailgate. Now aside from that, it's all okay. Let's talk about interior now. You've got interior, you've got screen size is 12.8. There's also a full HD slim 9.2 meter cluster, and that's what the navigation system is all there. The smart controls are there, wireless phone charging system there, lot. So this one is basically the whole car is Mercedes-Benz parts bin, which is what I like actually. Okay, right now I'm in the interior of this smart #1 Brabus edition. The thing about this car is it's basically like a Mercedes-Benz A-class platform in terms of everything inside. Everything inside is basically Mercedes-Benz parts bin. The same vendors are used, basically the same style of seats and all, the same driving position and all. Basically, as I said, you have like certain different things like where the screen is, how big is the size of the screen, the digital instrument cluster in front of the driver, behind the steering wheel. The steering wheel also looks very Mercedes-Benz in many ways. Parts bin, definitely. Even the controls in terms of like the switch gear you see here and all, how it feels, the soft touch feeling, the rubber, the leather, the plastics used inside this car is basically purely Mercedes-Benz in terms of feel. Basically, since it's a Geely Mercedes-Benz Geely joint venture product, which is what Smart is nowadays, this car basically feels very European, very Mercedes-Benz in terms of its design, architecture and styling. All the styling cues and all, I feel it's modern, chic, very smart, using Mercedes parts bin, and I think I feel at home in this kind of car. This sort of car. It's like nowadays, I think with age and all, I like the European feel, the civilized, cultured interiors and all. Brabus, basically, the Brabus line basically builds on the Smart #1's premium edition. Basically, the top spec #1 gets a Brabus treatment inside and outside. So inside you get the red stitching, the seats, the suede Alcantara, the Brabus backed B and all the red trimmings here and there. Even the Beats Audio sound system, Beats Audio is basically owned by, nowadays Beats Audio is owned by Apple, which is actually quite good, right? Think about it, it's basically young, hip, vibrant. Maybe not for people like me, but everything is good. But you're talking about an old folk like me, an uncle, the screen layout is big, it's huge, it's easy to within grasp of what I want to touch, what I want to feel and all. Sensitivity is good. Everything seems to be in order. Climate control and everything is all laid out easily, nicely clean and all. I can set the aircon and all here, maximum, on, off. It's all laid out and all. I say I want the radio. Radio is here. Everything is basically intuitive and feels good actually. Even certain things like say a bit of like glass or crystal on this, like they want to do it like a frameless layout in terms of the review mirror and whatever toggles here and there. There's a sunroof also. So basically, yes, this is basically the premium #1, and now it's Brabus Fight, I suppose. So nice car, definitely a nice car. So in terms of interior wise, you get body hugging seats, of course. It's a Brabus, I mean. Moonroof, panoramic moonroof, sunroof, spec holder, mirror, steering wheel. Basically Mercedes parts bin in terms for me. Basically the vendors are the same. They might be built from China and all, but it's basically all the same. The heads-up display is in front. Trimming is basically leather, good quality plastic. Basically the parts are all good. The feel is all... Yeah, I'm on the signal now. Tactile touch is quite good also in terms of feel. Aside from that, I think the Space at the rear, very nice. This car is bigger. This car is as big as, say, a Volkswagen Golf, but it's basically a crossover. So it's rides a bit high and all. So space-wise, it's a nice compact hatchback in the C segment category. I've driven this car. So what I think is that this feels so much like driving Mercedes-Benz A-Class. Electric powered A-Class. So it's like we are looking at the Mercedes-Benz EQA, EQB series platform, the A-Class series platform, like you're driving an A200 and all, or A250 hatchback, a bit taller, a bit bigger, and it feels the same because everything inside, the ergonomics, the basic design somehow feels like I'm driving an A-Class. It's a good thing actually, an electric A-Class. So feels how it corners, the steering responses, the steering inputs, the tactile feel of it, it's all Mercedes A-Class, which is, I think, a very good thing. Because these days when you drive, even I have driven quite a lot of cars, you end up thinking that you want something that you feel familiar with and logically laid out, and this car has most of the things which I like about it. So aside from that, what are the cons? Well, I'm still a skeptic on running EV car wholly in Malaysia. So because basically the infrastructure isn't that set up for you to drive say from Kuala Lumpur to Penang. But in terms of if you're using it as a city commuter with the occasional trip, say using this Brabus, smart Brabus, up Genting Highlands, which I think is definitely less than 300 kilometers up and down, it's going to be a hoot to drive. Seriously, it's going to be a hoot to drive. In terms of how the power transfer is, power delivery and all, I like it very much in all-wheel drive mode, in Brabus mode. It is nice, it is aggressive, the steering responses are very good, it does feel nimble, it does have that certain push due to it being slightly heavy. I mean, it's still a bit over than 1,500 kilos due to the weight of the battery pack. See, the problem with electric cars is always that it has to carry a fixed weight of the batteries in the car. So, and the mileage, whether you can find charging stations or not, it is out of town. So, which is why I said that it's a city commuter. It's for the weekend drives in and around where you are located. Let's say if you're located in the Klang Valley or even in Penang, you take a short hop, take a drive around Penang Island, the whole stretch around the island from say Batu Feringhi all the way to Balik Pulau and back again to Georgetown and all, or to Paya Terubong up and down, it'll be just good enough. Or here, from say in Petaling Jaya, you drive all the way up Genting, have coffee and come down again, it's good enough. In terms of driving pleasure, definitely this car has it. Now, the only drawbacks I see is that when I tested the car, it was all stickered up in full camouflage mode. Now you see it, everything outside. So externally, you get this special different two-tone color scheme with some of the Brabus editions. So you get a red roof and this matte paint, but you can get it in a lot of other combinations. But this is basically I think the hero setup for the smart Brabus #1. So red roof and this one. You notice one thing that, as I said, has that nice slight Brabus body kit over the #1 premium. And you're gonna see basically red trimmings, red lipstick on the front spoiler, the wheels, and the slight Brabus badging on the small of the bumper. Aside from being electric, there are only two faults I see of this car. If you drive it, I think the sound that's pumped through the speakers to make it feel aggressive, while it's based on a Brabus V6 engine, does not tally with the input of your throttle pedal. So if you were gunning it at quarter throttle, it still feels like it's gunning it. So the sound that's pumped through the speakers, simulating a normal engine, this just sound. It's not good. I would run it on. Actually, I would run it without the sound. The sound does not tally with the throttle inputs. Like if you're on full throttle, it's nice. But if you're on half throttle also, it sounds like it's full throttle. You're on quarter throttle also, it sounds like it's full throttle, so it doesn't tally. The sound doesn't tally at all. I suppose for most people that'll be exciting enough to get the sound in. So run it without the sound. And then secondly, Malaysia has lack of charging facilities. So as I said, in and around town, short distances, or you have to plan your your trip accordingly. You can't just simply go out of town and drive. Make sure you plan, because you're working with 400 kilometers estimated mileage, which I say is about 350 in real world. So aside from that, the other factor is that I think, since Malaysians are a bit of a brand snob, I do wish that the Brabus markings were a bit more visible and prominent on this car. It's more smart. Yeah, I mean, in the name also, it's like smart #1 Brabus. So the Brabus comes at the end. It's not like the Brabus comes first. So this is still a #1, but it's smart. So you only see a little bit of garnish on the front spoiler with the words Brabus there, and at the rear, and at the side skirts on the little bit. But they're all tiny bit. Only on the inside you see it on the seat backs, on the headrest. So if it was a bit more prominent, it would be better. In terms of pricing, Smart Malaysia basically is telling us that it cannot cross 250,000. Personally, I think that's reasonable, because this is a car that can do 0 to 100 in around 3.9 seconds. It's fast, it's powerful, it has that Brabus badging. 250,000 is a good price. If it was lower, better, but let's just say this is for Malaysian market and all. 250,000 is still underneath the A250, Mercedes-Benz A250 pricing in Malaysia. So you're still getting a hell of a lot of car. Mercedes-Benz parts bin car for around 250,000. I think that's sensible and fair in terms of rising costs and all. So this is basically my overall opinion on the Smart #1 Brabus and whatever bits that it has on it. And it's a good car. It's a good car, and I think it brings a bit of a difference to the automotive market here in Malaysia today. I mean, you're talking about an EV revolution in terms everywhere. So this is another one of those products, and it brings in another old name, which is Brabus, back into the Malaysian automotive industry. So thank you very much for Smart for allowing me to attend this preview and watch, and hopefully you all come back for updates from Motoring Malaysia. I know that I've not been consistent in doing videos and all, but I hope you come back occasionally, once in a while, every time, and come back and see what updates I have for you guys. Alright, see you all. Thank you. One of the specialties of this #1 is that you have a light show in the front of the car. So this is it.
看到吗？这个就是它的 light show，那么美，你受得了吗？Thank you.